Today, I was walking with my dog, or walking my dog, as a lot of people would say, and I was watching the geese near where I live and kind of seeing them just milling about. It's beautiful. Weather was perfect. Fountain hitting the water. Just thinking about life and honest to God, true story. I really did start to think about missed opportunities and how that kind of also pertained to the market, because I really think I was able to pounce on something, maybe not as much as I would have liked to, but I really think that I got in at a good price, and I feel really happy about where I got in. But I'm just kind of thinking about a lot of the missed opportunities I've had. I've owned Palantir at $19 before. I've owned Nvidia pre-split in the 150s. Gosh, I remember when Microsoft was 139. That's when I started trading. I think that was the first stock I bought for 139, and I would have been better off if I would have just held all of it. Never sold. Never paid attention to anything, but that's not really practical because sometimes you need money for things in life that come up. But I do want to say, guys, that you're going to have a lot of opportunities. Then it's best not to blow them. And I was really talking about with Apple specifically. I wanted the stock for 210 or below. And I thought it was practical to use my cash coming in to get that because I didn't know when Apple would be this cheap. Previously, I'd really harked on the stock when it was trading in the 260s. I thought that was too high. I still would say that the 260s are maybe too high, but after further consideration and really thinking about it, I might have been wrong, because the Apple ecosystem might be worth a lot more if you're able to advertise to the people on the ecosystem. So with that in mind, I really think that Apple has a lot more room to run. I will not be buying any more, I do not think, unless it dips below 210 again. But I was able to get a decent chunk of change in there. I got 12 shares. We're up a decent bit on them. I should have a screenshot of the gains right there. But yeah, I was talking about this about 3 weeks ago, and each week I would kind of talk about why I was still adding more Apple. It wasn't like everything I was adding, because I do think that it is a little bit of a risky play because they're not really developing any AI. So I think that the risk reward is a little bit more skewed. I think that there's not as much risk there, which I really like as an investor. But I also do think that Apple should have a really serious premium. I think that they're still a very powerful company that makes a very strong product. I just think that growth hasn't been where it's supposed to be, but I'm okay with some slow years of growth. I know that historically Apple has been able to figure it out, and it might not be the end of the world at Apple. I really think that people were way too bearish on this stock. I was even initially bearish. I didn't want to touch it. It's kind of been similar to Google for me. I never really bought into Google. I don't know why. It's the only big tech name I've never really owned. Never wanted to own. Just for some reason, I didn't feel like the long-term prospects of Google were good, and I didn't really understand how they were making their money, so I didn't want to invest in them. And I really kind of thought that Apple was just kind of like a Tesla, like this just overpriced stock that's selling like a product that doesn't have, the most amazing margin in the world. I know that it is a decent margin on the iPhone, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying it's not like a software or something like that where you spend a lot to develop it and then you just sell unlimited copies for X amount. But really, I thought that they were kind of going on a downward trajectory, but at this price, that's way too low, especially considering that tech is going to be a big part of our lives, and considering how big a part of a lot of people's lives the Apple ecosystem is and Apple products are. And I do think that we're going to see continued growth in Apple, and I think that they're going to develop something new. But with missed opportunities, I've missed a lot of opportunities as an investor. I don't regret any of them. They were all kind of teaching moments. And the big teaching moment I'm getting right now is that, or thing that I know that I've made this mistake in the past, is that I don't really want to sell right now. I want to continue to hold because I think better gains are going to continue to come. I think it's more likely we're going to go up than we're going to go down. I think that there could be anomalous events, but there's money on the side really waiting for any dips to be able to just buy in. Because a lot of the market does not really care as much as people would think about a lot of these different events that are happening. I think that the AI technology is going to really outweigh a lot of the things that people think are going to be important. And I think that AI is going to drive a lot of new shareholder equity. And I think it's going to generate unbelievable amounts of gains. I think that we're going to see a lot of increased profits. I think that it's going to be an amazing thing, and I think that we're going to benefit greatly from it. I bought some more Salesforce as well. I still think that this stock is very cheap. I think that the opportunity is there for Salesforce. I think that's a very niche type of software. I think that the fact that they've been able to develop their agents has been very successful. I think that that's a very lucrative endeavor, especially if they can deploy this kind of technology and get it into other companies that are big call center type of companies. I think that Salesforce could be making a lot of money. And I think that there is an opportunity there, obviously. And that's where I've put a lot of my money. I've put, I believe, over $8,000 into Salesforce at this point. And I still think that we're going to continue to see an increase in value for Salesforce. I think that it's still oversold. I've still been buying pretty continually because I still believe it's undervalued as a company. And I think that they're going to start to come back. I think that we've lost a lot of the short-term investors that were there just trying to squeeze it for every dollar. I think that a lot of the long-term investors have come and stayed, and a lot of other people are going to experience some kind of FOMO and want to get into Salesforce, I'm sure. We've seen that with Amazon. We've obviously seen it with Meta, which I also own. We've seen it with plenty of stocks. And what's funny to me is that one of my best performing stocks is actually Hasbro, which a lot of people told me it's the only stock I've been criticized for that I've invested in the channel. And Hasbro's done very well, and it's because of Magic the Gathering and Wizards of the Coast. Collectibles are going crazy right now. I really think that the economy is in a better place than a lot of us realize. There's huge demand for these collector's items. People really care about them. Hasbro's profiting immensely. I think that the numbers are going to be unbelievable. And I have a decent bet on them. I got $1,000 in Hasbro. I was hesitant about it. It was a little bit more risky of a bet. But it was a bet that I wanted to take on, so that's a bet that I made. And I've made a decent bit of money, but I obviously haven't cashed anything out. Decent dividend, too. With opportunities and things of that nature, you really got to make the most out of every opportunity you have and be willing to work a little bit extra. For example, I have this YouTube channel. It's more of a time capsule for me to kind of go back and look at what was happening in the market and how I handled it so that in the future, when I have a lot more money, I can make better decisions with that money because it's going to be more impactful. You need to be able to work harder when you can because you're really going to benefit immensely if you work harder. If you're someone who's on the younger side, like, I don't know, if you're in high school watching this, which there are some high schoolers that watch this according to my demographics, even though majority is 25 to 34-year-old men. But if you're a younger guy watching this, which is awesome, great for you. I'm really happy that you're researching stocks and doing that so young. I didn't really start until I was, I think I bought my first share of Microsoft when I was 19, something like that. Yeah. But if you're a younger guy, I would really encourage you to take the SAT really seriously. That's something to do. For me currently, in my current role at my job, I've been working extra time on the weekends. And it's just something that I do to kind of show that I'm willing to go above and beyond. Not obviously you don't have to do that, but I think that it's smart to try and go above and beyond and do your best whenever you can. Because I really think that it does make a difference, and people respect you more when you're really willing to do the things that a lot of other people don't want to do and put in extra time that other people aren't putting in for the betterment of your mission and for the success of your team. So yeah, there are a lot of opportunities out there in the market right now. Right now, I'm just kind of collecting cash, kind of looking at how everything's going, really trying to build up a big waste management position because I think that waste management has kind of been unduly falling a little bit. Not really a fan of that kind of movement in waste management. Um, well, I am actually a fan of it because my goal is to kind of get at least $10,000 invested into waste management. So then I have kind of like that asset to fall back on because I think that it's going to retain its value very well. Now, I have no intention to sell any of my stocks ever. I don't want to sell any of my stocks. I really want to take them to the grave with me and continue to collect the dividends or shave a few shares here and there or fractional shares whenever I need money. Just sell a little bit off of them. But yeah, I mean, when it looks good, like waste management below 230s, that's when you want to get in. And so I'm trying to get some more waste management. I'm trying to build up a big position, and we're going to see if I could do that. I really think that I've made the right moves so far, and I feel really good about my competency. I think that it's time to get into some waste management. I think that it's time to start looking at Texas Roadhouse. I might throw a little bit more money down on that. I need to analyze their last quarter's earnings more and kind of go through things. I also want to kind of look at the Waste Management Investor Conference. I haven't had a chance to really peek at that. I think that would be interesting to kind of look through the pamphlet or whatever was dispersed or try and find something on that. Simply because I'm curious on how they're going to grow more and what their plan is. But yeah, I was just thinking about big opportunities and some opportunities in my life that I've blown that would have made my life a lot easier. Some times where I could have definitely put in a lot more work and I didn't, and I procrastinated. And how I'm not going to let that happen going into the future, and how I'm going to try to have a positive attitude. So I hope you guys think the same way. If you guys missed a big opportunity to buy a stock that you like or investment or something like that, don't feel beat up about it. We've all got a story like that. We've all got a big fish story. And yeah, it happens. So hope you guys like that little rant, those random ramblings that I just felt like talking about in my basement. Yeah, so thanks for watching. Please hit the subscribe button. Have a great 4th of July, and
welcome to Costco. I love you.